Okay. Shalom, 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 shalom. Of course, I'm gonna start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKodesh, giving double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, shalom salutation to all you sincere actives across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasamaga from the DC camp, and I'm coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKodesh. And this is another installment of the works of Josephus, War of the Jews. And basically, in this installment, I'm going to be going over the third book and the sixth chapter, going into Vespasian marching towards Galilee, marching towards Israel to take down the nation of Israel, and how he marched it with his sacred insignia or ensign called the Royal Roman Golden Eagle, okay? And how when you look in the future being now, what army of people, what race of people pretty much move the same way and have the same sacred animal representing their troops and their mindset, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I want to go straight to, this is of course Josephus. This is the third book of Josephus, and it's chapter 6. And the title is Placidus attempts to take Jotapata and is beaten off. Vespasian marches into Galilee. Okay, so when you go down, I want to go straight to the point, and where I want to start at is right here. Make sure I have it let me see. Anyways, all of a sudden it won't pop. It's called good. But right here it says you read right at the top. It says, then came the ensigns. Okay, then came the ensigns encompassing the eagle. As a matter of fact, let me see. Okay, right there. After these came the peculiar cavalry of his own legion. This is speaking about Vespasian. Okay? After these came the peculiar cavalry of his own legion. Let me show a quick image. This is Vespasian and his cavalry as he was marching towards the land of Israel, right? To besiege Jerusalem. Alright? So let's get back to it. It says, after these came the peculiar cavalry of his own legion, for there were 120 horsemen that peculiarly belonged to every legion. Next to these came the mules that carried the engines for siege, and the other warlike machines of that nature. After these came the commanders of the cohorts and tribunes, having about them soldiers chosen out of the rest. So he got the best of the best soldiers. That's why Israel didn't stand a chance. It was all set up in the spirit. Then came the ensigns encompassing the eagle, which is at the head of every Roman legion, the king and the strongest of all birds, which seems to them a signal of dominion, and an omen that they shall conquer all against whom they march. These sacred ensigns are followed by the trumpeters. You see that? So definitely the Roman Empire had, every time they marched, every time Vespasian marched, and every Roman general marched, they always had what? They always had what you see right here, which is called the Imperial Golden Eagle. The Imperial Roman Golden Eagle. That was their sacred ensign, that pretty much spoke volume and said, hey, we are the king and the strongest of all the birds, and we can, and the eagle is known for being able to get to rise higher and above every other bird, right? So he can see everything, That's where you get the whole all-seeing eye. That goes back to the eagle, being able to see everything and to conquer it, to have dominion over all. Now, when you look at that, then you look at today's biggest and most powerful military. Who are the leaders of the United States military? It's the Edomites. All right. When you say American, American is just a philosophy. It's not a nationality. The nation that runs America is the Edomites, the same nation from which Vespasian was a part of, that marched on Jerusalem. All right. And Jerusalem back then was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. Okay. Today you have all the tribes, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans under the same Edomites, and they move with the same insignia or signs. It's the eagle. This is known as the bald eagle, the American bald eagle. Okay, and right there you have those words written. I think it's in Latin: pluribus pluribus unum. Now, when you look that up, pluribus unum, it says out of many, one, the model of the U.S. When it says out of many, is because when you go back to the American military is known for having many branches, and also it's known for having many nationalities of people that have actually taken upon the philosophy, the American philosophy, and were willing to fight for that philosophy. Okay? So that's the same thing that was happening with the ancient Roman army, because right after, when you look at the top right here, it says, then came the main army in a squadron and battalion with 6 men in depth, which were followed at last by a centurion, who according to customs observed the rest as the servants of every legion. They all followed the footmen and laid the baggage of the soldiers, but which was borne by the mules and other beasts and burden. But behind all the legions came the whole multitude of the mercenaries. Now, isn't the American military known for having mercenaries like Blackwater? Blackwater is a group of mercenaries hired for war. Dudes that get paid to go and kill and murder. So that's the same mentality. Okay? It tells you, that's why you need to know about history, man. You gotta read history. So now let's go to the scriptures. This is Obadiah, and see how the scriptures fit with this man's nationality. He's been doing the same things over and over. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, this saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua concerning Edom. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man, so-called Caucasian man, the European man. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent amongst the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Who is the most despised nation on the planet? Is the United States, really not nation, country, but that country is ran by a particular nation, is the Edomites in particular of the United States of America. Okay? So going back to Obadiah 1 and 3, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set that nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So what nation is known for exalting themselves as the eagle? Vespasian and all the Roman generals believed that that the eagle represented dominion, and the eagle pretty much meant that they would be able to march over anybody that stood against them. That's how Esau's been able to take over lands and put their names on it. Okay? So again, there's another proof that lets you know who the Edomites are. Okay? Next scripture is going into the curses. Something that happened to the nation of Israel, right? This is one of the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua shall bring in nations against thee, thee being Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So when they came and grabbed us in the western parts of Africa, we didn't understand the language they spoke. When they grabbed our people, when they came to the lands of Americas, our brothers Native Americans, when they went over there in South America, our brothers Latinos, they didn't understand the languages. Who was that eagle? It's talking about the Edomites. Who did that happen to? The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. facts. Okay? More facts, more spiritual facts. This is Jeremiah 49:16. Thy terribleness, Esau, thy terribleness has deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. So you talking about now with the space projects that's going on, space stations. Who's doing all that? The Edomites. Goes back to that eagle being as high as they can, man. Okay? So who's fulfilling that prophecy? It's Edom, Esau. But the thing is, as high as Esau gets, there's a man who's going to show him that he could actually be higher than him. A man called Hamashiach Yahushua. Now check this out. This is, let me see. Make sure I get it right. 49:22. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 49:22. It says, behold, this is speaking about the Lord Yahushua. It says of Jeremiah 49:21, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Right, that's going into the Third World War when Esau's troops are going to be sent. He's going to march over there into the Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and there's going to be a lot of dead. Verse 22, behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. Basra is Edom, Esau. He is Yahushua. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of women in pains. So when Yahushua flies over Basra, being Edom, Esau, right, they're going to be like women, scared shitless. Because they're known to be the ones to fly as eagles and fly above everybody, but they're going to see a man who's going to fly even higher than they've been able to fly all these years. And who is that man? That's Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay, you see the image right here. So when you see the image right here, that's Yahushua in the chariots. That's how he's going to come in flying as an eagle, man. Higher than Esau, who's been able to fly as an eagle. And again, that's Yaquab, the ultimate Yaquab, supplanter. Whatever you do, the Lord will show you. He can show you how you really do it. Okay? But the Lord is going to conquer in righteousness. The scripture says that he doeth wage war in righteousness. But that's what I wanted to bring forth, just a little bit of history on Vespasian moving in onto the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And then again, it goes back to the book of Josephus, the works of Josephus, the third book, the 6th chapter. So with that, I'm going to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, salutation, teach sincere Akims across the 4 winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. This I'm God from the DC camps, and Shalom.